Everything you're about to hear is for entertainment purposes only. Listen, have some fun, but don't ever do, believe, or promote anything they say. They're idiots.
Guys, hold up. You should know, this ain't for everybody. Welcome to Savagely Loud. What's happening, guys? Welcome back to the show that understands that facts divided by feelings equals failure. I'm Cliff, I'm your host, and we've got a ton of things to get to today, including some really cool updates. But before we do that, guys, let me call upon you for your action. Please, guys, if you want to help me get this message out, you can follow me on Instagram, Savagely Loud page on Instagram. On that page where I am most active, you'll find a link to the Savagely Loud podcast show page, which is inevitably going to be my backup. We know this. So if you could go to Instagram, again, Savagely Loud, that's where I'm most active. Follow me there. You can also follow me on Facebook, TikTok, X, and Rumble, all under the same name, Savagely Loud. You can also follow me, subscribe to my channel on YouTube, Savagely Loud Podcast. And last but not least, you can email me in with your comments, concerns, show ideas, thoughts, anything you want. savagelyloud@gmail.com. Oh, guys, this is going to be a cool episode. I really think we're going to get somewhere on this one, but we got some updates. Let's get some to the cool stuff first, right? The neat stuff, the progress. We like progress around here. So let's talk about the progress. Guys, we finally got a website design hatched. We've got a basic direction. We're going to start doing the website thing. We're going to start building this thing up. We like I said, it's kind of rudimentary. It's skeletal right now. It's just bones that's constructed, but we've got the idea and we're going to start moving forward on that. So maintain vigilant sight upon savagelyloud.com because it is on its way. The second update I got for you, not on all my pages just yet. On Instagram, on Savagely Loud, where I'm most active, I now have a link tree. You can go to my Instagram page and see all of my links in one convenient place. You can follow and subscribe on all those platforms that you listen to or to, whatever. And I would appreciate that. So go visit that. Share that shit out for me, guys. I put a lot of work into this and getting these things moving. And you also, I got to tell you, I got to learn this shit. Like, I am tech stupid, like super tech stupid. Like, when it comes to platforms and apps and all this shit, I don't know what I'm doing. So every time I do something like as simple as forming a link tree, I have to spend hours and hours and hours learning how to do this. So just do me the solid, man. Just do me the solid. Go visit the link tree. Go to visit all my links, share them out. Wherever you think that your friends might be, share those out. The next big update I have for you is I am currently working on a scenario now where we can do 2 shows a week because one show is just not good enough. I think 2 shows will be good. And, never know. Eventually 5 shows a week maybe might be the best. So, but for right now, we're organizing so that we can get this thing to do 2 shows a week. So that'll be fucking radical. That'll be awesome to get on the airwaves more often. Now, to touch on, this is another update, okay? So to touch on this, because I do get questions about the intro video. The intro video is going to be replaced. I'm only using it currently because I have so many other things going on. I just don't have time to, again, learn more about how to now alter this video intro, okay? It is going to be changed. It is going to be cutting Mikey out because Mikey is no longer a member of the show. I get a couple of questions here and there. So in case there's anybody out there wondering that likes him, he's not going to be on the show. He's doing his own thing. If there's any companies out there that might wonder if he's part of the show, the communist ones that don't agree with freedom outside of the company atmosphere, he's no longer a part of the show. So don't worry, don't panic. We're going to be changing everything. So just sit tight for a second. And the last update we've got, I don't know if it's an update or if it's a let's just touch on it kind of topic. Co-hosts. I get a lot of my friends, I get a lot of people on Facebook and Instagram asking me about my co-host. If I want a new co-host or if I'm looking for a new co-host, and I'm going to be honest with you, I'm open to the idea, but I'm not married to it. This isn't an active search that I'm on for a new co-host. Because let's face it, I put a lot of fucking work into a show. Every time I have a co-host, that co-host ends up leaving for one reason or another. And then I've got to double down and do all that fucking work again just to make it back to, solo, solitary fucking Fortress of Solitude, just me and the camera, right? So yes, I'm open to it. No, I'm not really hunting for it. But if you think you might like to, all I can do is tell you, reach out. I'm going to be most available on that email. That's savagelylloud@gmail.com, and Instagram. You can DM me there if you're interested, or, you got any input for me. You want to talk about this shit. So now that we've got all of that out of the way, let's get to the meat and the potatoes of today's episode, because I think it's going to be, I know it is something that has to be talked about, and some people are starting to talk about it, but they're not talking about the full spectrum. They're not talking about the whole broadly encompassing scope of what we need to actually address here, and that's dual allegiances. You've heard the people, they're all talking about dual citizenships within the government. But nobody's talking about dual allegiances of not only the people in the government that aren't dual citizens, but the people in the streets, the people in America that have dual allegiances, not necessarily citizenships, but allegiances to other countries. We're going to break all this down because it really does get into everything. It gets into aspects of your friends and your family and your job and your government, and everywhere you look, there's somebody holding multiple allegiances, and these multiple allegiances are what's actually killing America. There's a lot of contributing factors to why America's on its way down, but this is one of the largest, and I think it's time that we just take a little while and we break all this shit down. So to start out this whole thing, stupid again. To start out this whole thing, let's touch on the dual citizenship argument, because we hear a lot about that. We're not only hearing it from all the air quotes conspiracy theorists out there, but we're hearing it from actual members of the government, that there's too many people in the government, too many elected officials or appointed officials that have dual citizenship. Now, this is a problem, obviously, and if it's not obvious to you, let's break down why it is a problem. Dual citizenship means that you hold citizenship in multiple countries, 2 countries. I'm actually going to reference the United States, the USCitizenshipTest.org page here, and their little blurb on what dual citizenship is. Dual citizenship, also known as dual nationality, means that a person is legally recognized as a citizen of 2 countries at the very same time. This status allows individuals to hold 2 passports, vote in both countries, parentheses, if allowed, access social benefits in both countries, live, work, and travel freely between both nations. In the United States, dual citizenship is allowed, although it is not formally encouraged. The U.S. does not require immigrants to renounce their previous citizenship upon naturalization. Now, what I want to do is I want to stop right there, because we have a glaring issue that in just this one little bullet point data feature, we've stumbled upon the notion that dual citizenship within the government, the United States government, is not formally encouraged. And the problem there is that every fucking where we look, it seems like the entire U.S. government is being pushed by so many other governments to be full of dual citizens, absolutely full of dual citizens. And it's not even just the foreign ones pushing in. It's our own U.S. government pushing our own U.S. government. Look what happened to all these other representatives, and I don't even have the names. There's been so many of them that got pushed out of government because they didn't have a dual citizenship with Israel or another place, or they got pushed out because They thought, well, actually, we can actually touch on that right now because there is currently a bill that it's dying really fucking hard, but it's being met with some really, really intense vigor to fight. But it's a bill introduced to not necessarily cancel dual citizenship for American politicians, but at least to make it known. You have to, they want to form a registry on dual citizens serving in the U.S. government, which I think is a fantastic idea. Personally, just to lay this out up front, my stance on dual citizenship and dual allegiances is it should not occur. It should not be of any it shouldn't be happening at all in any way, shape, or form. Should we have anybody, especially serving in the United States government, that has any sort of allegiance or citizenship to another country? Because we're going to get into issues a little later in the show that's going to highlight why this is such a problem. But I am firmly and staunchly against dual citizenship and dual allegiances. Now, as we just said, there's a bill. I don't remember what the bill is. Proposed so people have to document their U.S. citizenship. Now, here's one of the really funny things here, is because if you've heard anybody talk, I mean, in the last, I don't know, decade, maybe particularly the last 3 to 4 years. If you've heard anybody talk about anything, you've heard people talk about U.S. politicians in the government and the federal government having dual citizenships with Israel. There's a lot of them. As of a couple of years ago, there was thought to be 89 of them. But there are many people now that all they do, guys, I'm not these guys. All these dudes do out here is dig and dig and dig and dig and dig. And there's plenty of fucking people. There's a good handful of people out there that allege that all U.S. government officials, federal officials of any sort of notoriety, basically kind of get an automatic dual citizenship, especially with Israel. And that's, again, ties into our problem with this dual citizenship, because one of the issues, I can't say the whole issue, one of the issues with dual citizenship is it becomes incentivizing to play both teams. If you have a citizenship with, let's say you're a U.S. citizen and you're a Mexican citizen, you're serving in the United States federal government, you now have incentive, because based on based on what the United States government says about how you can vote in both countries, you can access social benefits in both countries, and you can live and work and travel freely between both nations. This incentivizes you to make decisions or potentially deals or proposals or bills that are not 100% in the interest of America, the country that you're actually serving the government in. And we see it all the time. We see people all the time to fight, they'll fight immigration to an extent. They'll fight importation of certain fruits and vegetables to an extent. But what happens when that extent gets reached? Then all of a sudden they don't want to push any harder. No matter how great it would be for America if they kept pushing, they no longer want to push any harder because they're incentivized to not do so. They're making money in both countries, and they're doing it by working the law structure in one country to benefit both countries. If you can't understand why this is an issue, I think you're beyond help. I don't even know how you fucking tie your shoes in the morning if you can't see why this is an issue. So to move on from that, you might be asking yourself, like, well, how many people that, have dual citizenship in this country are actually serving in government? Well, I've got a list for you, and that list is so long. In fact, it's 322 members long. And these are now, this isn't only people that have dual citizenships. This isn't all of the people that have dual citizenship. This is actually the people that have dual citizenship and were foreign born, which compounds the problem because now we've got somebody serving in our government that is supposed to be working the best interest of this country, this nation, this home for 330 million fucking people, but they still have memories of the childhood that they lived in another country. They have memories of walking up and down the streets and first dates and first meetings and first jobs. They have all these memories of these other places. And once it comes down to it, if they're asked to vote something into law that wouldn't benefit the place that they keep remembering with so much romanticism, they're not going to vote for it. No matter how great it is for this country, those romanticized memories of the place they hailed from are going to take over, and it's going to disallow them to move forward. It's kind of human nature in a sense of like, have you ever tried to really punch yourself in the face? I mean, like, really let yourself have it. You can't do it. It's like nearly impossible because the body has a natural tendency to protect itself. Well, this, in human nature, we have a natural tendency to want to protect our roots or protect our heritage or protect the people we believe that we share blood with. We have this natural tendency. So when you have somebody that's foreign born, full of romanticized memories, and you have the power, you give them power in another country that could in turn either directly positively benefit that country of the country of those memories, or indirectly by just not making laws that make things worse over there for trade or commerce or whatever. You've got a compounding issue over and over and over again. And it's people like that will fall prey to most of these narratives because on one hand, they're full of this notion that I should protect the land I'm in, but that romanticized version of the childhood they remember, it takes over. They start seeing the faces of their friends and their family, their relatives, their grandmas and shit. They start seeing the despair that they grew up around, and then they want to protect that. They want to help that. They want to benefit that. And that's not to say that these people are anti-American. I think that's a very American feeling to have, that you want to save these people. You look out at people that are in distress and despair, and you want to help them. That's the American way. The problem here is that the American, that truly American feeling of wanting to help, well, it goes back to that traffic reference I always reference, right? You stop to let somebody in traffic while everybody's sitting there, and then the people behind you, they don't make the next light. They don't make the next light. And then there's a car accident. Next thing you know, they're 3 hours away from getting where they were going to go, all because you had to appear virtuous to one person. You fucked 400 people behind you. And that's kind of how this works. We want to save this tiny group of people of, let's say 20,000 people across the nation. But we do that at the cost of the American people. And that's not right. That's not how it should be. But to get back to how many foreign-born people that we have serving in our government. Now, like I said, I have the list of actual people. It's available on Wikipedia. I know that's not the best reference, but it's pretty good. I've cross-referenced a lot of this stuff, and it actually is pretty well on point. Not perfect, but we're going to go totals by country, okay? Because that's going to tell you where some of our problems are coming from, some of our disconnects between our American politicians and where they're coming from. Because when they hail from one place and this other person hails from another place, and those two cultures collide at all times, you're going to get a disconnect. So again, we have 322 people serving in the American political system that are foreign born and hold these citizenships, these dual citizenships. And these do go city, state, federal. This is a combination, all of them. Now, at the top, number of politicians is 68. We have 68 foreign born politicians in America that hail from Ireland. 47 from the United Kingdom. And if you know anything about the United Kingdom, you know that's a fucking problem because those people got their head in their ass really fucking deep. They just don't see the reality of the world anymore. They're lost. 24 from Germany, 22 from Canada, another fucking issue, but less so than United Kingdom because we share a border. So if they really want to fuck around, they'll find out. We've got 12 from Norway, 11 from Cuba, 10 from Mexico, which I think is absolute fucking horseshit. 10 foreign-born politicians in America from Mexico. Hey, I bet you it's closer to 50 or 100 or 150,000. France, no, and we've got 9 from France, 9 from Sweden. We've got 8 from the Dominican Republic. We got 8 from South Korea, 7 from Denmark, 6 from Haiti, 5 from India, 5 from Taiwan, 4 from Hungary, 4 from Italy, 3 from Austria and the Czech Republic, 3 from Japan and Peru, 3 from Poland and Switzerland, 3 from Trinidad and Tobago, 2 from Colombia, 2 from Jamaica, 2 from Lithuania, 2 from Portugal, 2 from Spain, 2 from Thailand, 2 from Venezuela, 2 from Vietnam, and finally 1 from Afghanistan, 1 from Belgium, 1 from Bulgaria, and these are all going to be ones: Cambodia, Cayman Islands, Costa Rica, Ecuador, Estonia, Greece, Guatemala, Iran, Kenya, Kosovo, Netherlands, New Zealand, Pakistan, Panama, Philippines, Romania, St. Martin, Slovenia, Somalia, South Africa, St. Kitts and Nevis, Turkey, and finally, Ukraine. With that many foreign-born politicians serving in the government in our United States today, can you see where there might be a conflict of interest? Can you see where America might not come up first on everybody's list? Can you see how that might be a fucking giant issue? Well, we do every day. We the people see this we see this issue every single day. Now, I've been speaking a lot about dual allegiances and not just dual citizenships. Now, what's the difference? Well, I look at dual allegiances as a far simpler proposition. See, dual citizenship requires legalities. It requires pieces of paper. It requires, passports. It requires responsibility and task doing. Dual allegiances don't require anything, and that's why I find them to be the most dangerous. Most people that have dual citizenships for a purpose, which means they do things. The do-nothings of the world typically don't have dual citizenships because they don't fucking do anything. They don't have any reason to have dual citizenships. They don't have any money because they don't have any to do anything, so they're not going to be traveling back and forth. They don't own any businesses or property in the other country, so they're not going to be traveling back and forth. These people do nothing. That's why it's so dangerous for them to have an opinion. Like, just call it out. Stupid people are dangerous to give an opinion to and then let them air that out in public because it will attract other stupid people. Guys, when we're talking about this whole dual allegiances thing, I'll break it down like this. Every single day, if you go on Instagram, you go on Facebook, you go on TikTok or X or Rumble or any one of these social media sites, even the internet, Yahoo, call it whatever the fuck you want, podcasts, you're going to go on these sites and you're going to hear a lot of pro-America rhetoric. You're going to hear fucking a lot of America first, rah, 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 America first, rah, 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 America take care of its own fucking people, blah, 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 blah. You're going to hear a lot of this. The problem with this is you're going to be hearing it mostly from people that are able to spit this kind of rhetoric because there's nothing at stake in their own head. Now, I always use myself as an example, so let me use myself as an example again. As I'm told, I haven't tracked or traced this or whatever. I've been told by my family that I'm English, Irish, German, and Italian. My dad was English and German. My mom was Irish and Italian. I, as Joe Nobody, just every day out there, pro-America every day, right? You hit my social media sites, it's pro-America, 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 pro-America. Why? Because our conflicts are not with England, they're not with Germany, they're not with Ireland, and they're not with Italy. Our conflicts currently are with China, or our conflicts are with North Korea, Russia, Ukraine. Like, we have these conflicts, but they're elsewhere. They're not in the countries that I consider, my roots. Let one thing, again, I'm playing the role of Joe Nobody, your average American that spews nothing but pro-America rhetoric every day. Let something happen in Ireland. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, well, we got to fucking save Ireland because it gets my attention. Because I'm English, Irish, German, and Italian. That's my roots, man. I got to look at this shit. I got to pay attention to this shit. All of a sudden, some things went in Ireland, and I don't like this shit. And then what happens? Ireland becomes my mission, right? This is what happens to all normal people here. And I will go so far as to say all, because the fraction of people, the fractional percentage of people in this country, the United States, that don't hold some sort of subconscious or fucking even conscious allegiance, secondary allegiance to another place or location or people is so minimal. I don't even know if you could count it. So let's just say all Americans, we have this, for the most part, we have this thing in us where we have to protect the people of our roots, the origins of our roots, the location of our roots, whatever, even if it's just the name of our roots. We got this thing. So now I'm in a situation as Joe Nobody here, where I'm getting fired up because something's happened in Ireland. Everything was cool a fucking week ago when it was all just China and Japan and fucking Russia and all this. That's fine. But now it's Ireland. Now you're fucking getting me involved. Now I'm getting mad. Now I'm getting fired up. Now I'm hitting the airwaves and I'm telling everybody else to get fucking fired up about what's going on in Ireland. And now you know what's happening? Everybody else is getting fired up about what's going on in Ireland. Why? Because they saw that somebody was in trouble. They saw that there was a people in turmoil, a place in turmoil. The people there were living in strife, and that American need to save things bubbled up to the top. And those people that are now pro whatever the fuck is, going to fix Ireland, forgot all about America. Forgot all about the problems we have here in America. They forgot all about all the shit that we need to fix here in America. And now, as time goes on, if that conflict, whatever that might be, that's happening in Ireland, gets any worse, these people are all going to band together and be totally okay with cutting the nose off of American people to go save Ireland because they want to feel virtuous. All these fucking Irish people out here that are just all pro-America every single fucking day will inevitably turncoat on America and want to save Ireland. We see this every single day. If excuse me, I've got a handful of friends, because this has been my hot topic lately, is let's talk about Iran. I've got a handful of friends that are Iranian. I've got a handful of friends that say they're Iranian and they've done nothing but been born here, lived here, made their whole life here and everything. But I actually do have a couple of fucking friends, several friends that are actually from Iran. But I get in these arguments every time I bring up Iran, because Iran, the government of Iran, it's very important to make this distinction. The government of Iran continuously calls for the death of America. The great Satan, they call us. Little Satan, they call Israel, but the great Satan is what they call America. So that puts me at odds with that government, okay? Above and beyond the Sharia law, everything about Sharia law puts me at odds with the government, because that's everything that is the antithesis of everything I've ever cared about. Like treating people like that, making them a prisoner in their own fucking lives, in their own country, in their own homes is absolutely fucking disgusting. But the fact that they call for the death of the people in my country and my country itself and my way of living and traditions puts me at odds with this government. Now, to build on that, we also see parades in the streets of Iranian people calling for the death of the great Satan and the destruction of Western civilization. That means that not only the government, but a portion of the people believe that this should happen too, which then puts me at odds with the people. This is where we have to take a breath. This is where we've got to stop, and I find myself even having to stop every now and then, because I don't know what portion of the people are actually about the death of America. I've seen the videos. I've seen millions of the videos. I've seen the parades. I've seen the celebrations. I've seen the floats. I've seen the sticks with the flags and the banners and all this other shit. But I also know that there's 92 million people in Iran, so I end up, dude, I'm trying to do my friends actually a favor and call it Iran. I've been an Iran dude forever. I'm American, so you're going to hear them mixed up. But I know there's 92 people living in Iran, 92 million people living in Iran. And I know I see a lot of motherfuckers at these parades and these celebrations, but I know it's not the majority. So what that makes me do is have to take a step back and figure out how we can discern between the people that want this destruction of America and the people that don't in Iran. And this will translate to every other country, okay? Because we paint with a lot of broad brushes. We have to paint with a lot of broad brushes as the citizens of every respective country out here, because we only know what our government shows us. You might think the internet's free here in America, and it fucking ain't. The government only lets you see what the fuck it wants you to see, So we know that our information is biased everywhere we go. Well, how can you then bring it down to individual basis? Well, I'm not going to go across the entire globe and go talk to 92 million people individually. So then you start researching, well, what's the broader belief base? What's the biggest spectrum of beliefs in the country? And if it comes up that the biggest fucking belief base is that America should die, if that's 51%, and then there's three other opinions that all make up smaller percentages on the back end, well, guess what? I'm now at odds with all of Iran, because the majority of people in Iran want the destruction of my home, my people. And this is where we get into very, very heated arguments, me and a few of them. That's where I'm supposed to, again, go back to everybody as an individual, and it's not them, it's the government. They don't like their government either, blah, 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 blah. And, well, I can't individualize everyone I won't individualize everyone, because I don't see anybody in any other country that's talking their shit, or has a government that's talking its shit to America or about America, talking about the destruction of America. I don't see any one of those motherfuckers talking about, well, we got to start looking at Americans as individuals. No, they look at America as America. They look at Americans as America. Like, we are all one fucking people to every single other people across this globe. That, I understand, puts us into kind of a little fucking social tizzy, because we're supposed to be the enlightened ones. We're supposed to be the higher level ones. We're supposed to be the ones that can see through the rhetoric and propaganda and individualize and compartmentalize all these good people across the globe. But how do we do that when every single person that is fucking looking at us is putting us into the same box as pedophiles, murderers, business tycoons that fucked millions and millions of people out of millions and millions of dollars? How do we do this? We can't. And that's where the argument kind of stops all the time, is because I try to bring up this notion that I can't be against a fraction of I can't be against a fraction of the population of Iran and the government. Like, it's fuck Iran. That's what it has to be, because Iran, the majority of it, says fuck America. And this is where the dual allegiance thing becomes so dangerous, because the people that have dual allegiances they're not fucking smart, and they're not fucking patriotic. They say they're patriotic every day because that's the acceptable thing that gets you a little bit of attention online. But the moment that you start getting mad at somebody else because another place is fucking with the place that person calls home, and you just so happen to hail from there, the moment you don't want the government of one place to solve a problem that in another place for its own people, that's the moment you become an enemy of the people of the place you're in. So I'll give you an example. I've had several of them. Again, several of my Iranian friends, a couple of them won't even fucking talk to me. And coincidentally, those aren't the ones from Iran. Those are the ones from America that just hang on to this fucking horseshit history of theirs that they've been told and probably haven't researched a fucking moment in their life. But they've got, or you've got I've got fucking 8 family members over there. We need to protect the whole country. This is where these relationships end, because conversations can't start. And it's all because of these dual allegiances. These people that hold dual allegiances, as I said, they're not very smart. Intelligent people have the ability to converse about a topic that they disagree with wholeheartedly, vehemently disagree with, and still have a relationship at the end of that conversation. But the people that I keep running into, they don't have that intelligence. They don't have that level of acceptance where they understand the country they're in believes in freedom of speech, freedom of opinion, freedom of thought, freedom of religion, and freedom to say what the fuck I want to say if you want to cut it black and gray. Okay? I can say whatever the fuck I want to say. You can say whatever the fuck you want to say. The difference between me and these people is I give them a fucking platform. I give them the time. I give them offer. I have offered almost maybe 5 now. 5 Iranian people won't fucking talk to me now because they went on their bullshit. They went on their bullshit rants about how, we can't go blow up fucking Iran because the government wants to build a nuke and blow up everybody else. It seems like we probably should. It seems like the government of a country is going fucking absolutely rogue and is now threatening to fucking blow up a bunch of fucking places or trying to do so. And also at the same time sponsors most of the fucking terrorism that happens across the entire globe. It seems like we should do something about that. It seems like it's sad that there's going to be some collateral damage, but we could try to minimize the collateral damage and expedite the fucking failure of that regime that is calling for the fucking death of other people. Seems like a great idea. But when we get in that conversation, I'm not allowed to progress my perspective anymore. I'm not allowed to, I should say, maybe even confess my perspective because these people shut down. These people with dual allegiances shut down. I say, you were born here. You grew up here. You've made every dollar you've ever made in your entire life to support you, your family who lives here, your husband who you met and lives here and is in your wife who also happens to fucking be born here and live here. You support your kids that are born here and make their living here and go to school here and learn here. You do all of the things that you do in America with money you make in America. But as soon as something happened in Iran, you're now okay with fucking, let's raise the fucking taxes. We got to help Iranians. We got to help the Iranians. Those are my people. Let's raise the fucking taxes. Let's send billions and billions of fucking dollars in aid to a country that just fucking hurts everybody around it, including its own citizens, maybe most of all its own citizens. Let's spend all of the fucking American money. That's the shit that we run into. I've run into this shit on damn near, I think, every fucking country on earth. I know somebody that has been okay with this. Israel is the big one right now. Ukraine is a big one right now. Russia is a big one right now. China is a big one right now. But these weren't always the big ones. And the Middle East is a goddamn shithole from front to fucking back. And now we're getting this shit. Now we're getting fights with Iranians talking about how we shouldn't be bombing them because they're fucking great people for some, I don't know. They don't push back against their government who treats them like shit. So, I mean, there's little greatness to be seen there. And any people that won't push back against its government, there's very little greatness to be seen. And before you say, well, the government will just kill them. Yeah, well, if everybody fucking stood the fuck up, it wouldn't happen. But we're not going to see everybody stand up in the Middle East, especially with countries with Sharia law, because it benefits the men of those countries greatly. The men of those countries that practice Sharia law can get away with everything they want. They can rape kids. They can marry children. They can beat their wives. They can make their wives fucking wear burqas and fucking sharaks all the fucking time so they can't be seen. They can fucking stuff fucking socks in their mouth so they can't be heard. They can do anything. They can have their friends come over and rape the fuck out of them all the time. These guys, these men in these fucking Sharia law countries, they do nothing but benefit from being there. So of course they're not going to rise up against the government. They're fucking gods in their own land. So what is it, relegated to the women of the country? Yeah, that's going to fucking happen. All that would happen is they would just mow the women down if they all got together. Let's say every last one of them got together, marched on whatever fucking ruler's temple castle bullshit that the fucking piece of shit leader of Iran fucking sits in. Let's say all the women in Iran marched to that temple. You know what would happen? They would open fire and kill every single fucking woman that came to that fucking temple, came to that castle, whatever the fuck he calls it. They would kill every last one of them. But women here in fucking America, men here in America, we keep trying to fucking advocate for them keeping that government. We keep trying to advocate for them to, let's just send them more money because their government sucks. No, let's force them to stand up against their government. I'm okay if we, if we aid some, but at the end of that aid package, I want a new regime. If I'm going to send my fucking money from my fucking homeland that's coming out of the fucking pockets of me and my people and my family, and we're going to send that shit overseas, I want a conclusion. I want a definitive conclusion at the end of that conflict. I don't want this fucking 10-year, 20-year, 30-year fucking war just to have absolutely zero shit change, all because we needed the fucking military-industrial complex and the rulers of that to fucking make billions and billions and billions and trillions of dollars. I'm not okay with that. I am okay if the fucking government said, hey, are you okay with us raising taxes for 1 year? And then somehow, I know it can't happen. You never relinquish your power because it's never given back. Never relinquish your money because it's never given back. But if there was a situation where the government would, for 1 year, raise our taxes a little bit and then unraise those motherfuckers the next year to get rid of the fucking the ruling regime in Iran, I would absolutely be okay with it. I would absolutely fucking be okay with it because I'm a humanitarian. You might think I'm some sort of fucking hardened racist, but I'm all about reality. And the only way we can fix humanity is to embrace the reality. And the reality is some people fucking suck. And there's nothing you can do to help them. There's nothing you can do to fix them. You can't repair them. You can't bring them out of the darkness. Some people fucking suck. Some people are evil. Yes, evil fucking exists. For all you hippie bastards out there that, oh, nobody's better or worse. We're all just different. No, there's better, there's worse. Some people are both. It's okay. Some people are worse. Some people are better. There's both out there. We need to focus on getting rid of the bad ones. We don't need to focus on rehabbing them. If there's anything we've learned with rehab situations, rehab programs, giant mass scale rehabilitation fucking efforts, is that they're failures. Every last one of them, all the way across the board, they're failures. The only rehab things that become a success are the ones that become a cult, like Alcoholics Anonymous. Anybody that's ever fucking made it through Alcoholics Anonymous and lived to tell the fucking tale is a cult member for that program. That's the way it is. And there's many, 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 many like it. It's not just that one. These people, they're fucking zealotous in their beliefs and following of these programs, okay? Well, that's what fucking happens if you start now implementing new programs. Because like I said, if there was a way that we could up the taxes and then drop the taxes and we could get rid of that regime, perhaps bring the Shah back, because everybody was happier under the Shah before the Islamic Revolution happened in fucking 1979 or, I think it was 1979, maybe 1978. But before that happened, everybody was a lot happier. Women didn't have to fucking cover their entire bodies, including their eyes, in the fucking 9 billion degree sun of the desert. Like, everybody was happier. Everybody had a little bit of rights. Everybody had a little bit of happiness. Everybody had a little contentment, a little comfort. It was good. It was good, better for the people over there. Now, I'm all about the people. I'm all about saving all the fucking people. But some people are unsavable. That's where we have to draw the line of reality. What can we realistically do to save who we can realistically save or should realistically save? Let's be honest. I am not okay with saving people that want me to die. It's just not okay. Like, there's nothing about me, there's nothing about my life, there's nothing about my friends, there's nothing about my family that wants to save the people that want us dead. In fact, it seems counterintuitive, but yet we see people out every day fucking, get your hands off Iran. Do you even know anything about the fucking country? I mean, come the fuck on. These are the people that are the dual allegiances. And that's another fucking dangerous aspect of the dual allegiance thing, is because sometimes this shit doesn't come from a bloodline. It doesn't come from family history. It doesn't come from a story that's been passed down over generations. Sometimes it comes from a narrative. In fact, most of the times in modern society in 2025, dual allegiances come from narratives that are pushed on people. Nobody gave a fuck about Ukraine until the government and the TV station said, you should really give a fuck about Ukraine. And we should really spend a whole lot of fucking money and send it all over there and, let them jerk off in it and then fucking build ski resorts. You should do that. You should do that. You should give a fuck about Taiwan too, because, if Taiwan falls, things are going to happen. You should give a fuck about all these fucking places all over. And then what happens? All these blue-haired fucking two-brain-celled fucking morons hit the airwaves talking about how much they absolutely give a fuck about this X and so-and-so places and fucking people. And they really just don't. And then it clouds up the fucking airwaves full of horse shit, full of bullshit that confuses the fuck out of people. And next thing you know, people can't find any truth. They can't find the reality. They can't find the statistics, much like if you were to look up how many government officials have dual citizenship, you can't find a fucking single thing. I've been looking for hours. And funny enough, it's always just, there's no recorded evidence of it, but we don't actually ask for it either. But that's what you get. These people that know absolutely nothing, that are willing to fucking not die for the cause, but they're willing for you to die for their cause. And their cause didn't exist yesterday. That's the problem with dual allegiances, is they crush this fucking country from within. They crush any country full of people that have allegiances to other countries. It crushes that country from within. We see it every single day, especially here in America. I'd say most of all here in America, by the people. If you want to go strictly by the government, you're definitely going to be looking north. You're definitely going to be looking at fucking Canada, because the government of Canada hates its people more than than I've ever seen anybody fucking hate anybody in my entire life. And I've been part of hate-based organizations, okay? Canadian government hates its people more than anybody I've ever seen hate anybody ever in history. But now, we the people, that is an American thing. The we the people thing, where we always have to get addicted to this new narrative or this new fight, this new cause, that's a very American thing. And that's what's leading to the destruction of this country, is because we've got so many uninformed people out there that shouldn't have opinions. And they're just doing nothing but spouting them all over the internet, all day, every day. Why? Because they don't do anything else with their life. So they have plenty of time to sit around and talk shit about Americans, because right now we're not pro your narrative. That's what happens. So, but the problem here, once you get these stupid motherfuckers on the airwaves doing all their bitching, pulling all their bullshit, fucking espousing all their rhetoric, they inevitably pick up other people. It's a snowball. That fucking snowball might fit in your hand at the top of the mountain, but by the bottom of the mountain, it's leveling the city. Okay? That's how these stupid fucking people work, because stupid people, more so than anybody out there, need to belong to something. They need to feel like they are a part of something, because they have zero purpose outside of that. They have zero purpose, zero meaning to their life if they're not part of this new, latest, greatest narrative. So they jump on and fucking bite hook, line, and sinker, gobble the whole fucking thing down, and then start spreading the rhetoric like a good, useful idiot. Guys, if we want America to progress in a positive direction anymore, we're going to have to end dual allegiances. If we want America to become as great as we believe, the American patriots, as we believe it can be, dual patriotism, dual nationalism, dual citizenship, dual allegiances has to end. It has to end. If you are going to live in America, you are going to have to be American-minded. You are going to have to be America first or America only. It's the only way this can get fixed. As long as we have I know I said 330 million earlier. I truly, honestly believe it's closer to fucking 375 to 390 million because of so many illegal immigrants. But so let's call it 350 million people. We have 350 million people in here in this country that all are allied with somebody else. They all have an allegiance to some other fucking place. So how is it that we can get all these people, all of us, to look at America the same way, with the same patriotic effort, the same patriotic romanticized version, want to save this place, if everybody wants to save another place too, because it's inevitable. We're going to get in a conflict with a place they have an allegiance to, just like we're seeing with Iran right now. I never had a problem with any of these people. All these people love me. In fact, one of these people credited me with holding their hand every day through my personal development contact, saving their life, and then saving the life of their spouse. And that person no longer talks to me because we have a fucking issue with Iran. He has a dual allegiance to Iran. This is what the problem is. We can never have full, meaningful, American-based relationships as long as people have allegiances to other places, because it's going to happen just like that. Then once what happens? Let's just say what happens. We get into a conflict with a couple of other countries that majority of people have some sort of allegiance to. Now we're in conflict inside America, not just externally. Now it's happening in our grass, in our front yard, because we've got our neighbors going at it. All because these people are more allied with a country that fucked them and created shit people than they are to the one that actually affords them to have a life. Many of them are very good. Many of them are very, very good lives. But yet we still see, we got to save the other countries. We got to save the other people. Why? We don't. We only have to save them, air quotes, have to save them, because you hold an unjust allegiance to a place that is not the place of your fucking birth, is not the place of your current state of affairs where you make your life happen. So no, we don't have to save anybody else. Should we save some other people? Sure, but I'm not going to go racing to save the fucking shittiest people on earth. I see what the fucking people do. I see these Iranian immigrants, and I see what they're doing to everywhere they go. You're not going to get me to fucking spend any money to save those people. It's not going to happen. They're fucking, if these people walked into these countries, and this goes for a lot of other countries too. If these people walked into their neighboring countries, regardless, I'll forego the whole notion that you forced your way in illegally. I'll forego the whole notion that you brutalized the border and the peace of mind that people have in that border to get into that country. I'll forego all that. And I'll just focus on what you did when you got there. None of these people respect the people that the places, the lands, the fucking communities and the people of the places they're going to. Not one. Look at Paris. It's a fucking third world shithole. Look at everywhere almost in the United Kingdom. Look at everywhere almost in the EU. It's a goddamn third world shithole because these fucking people come from these countries that, oh my God, for some reason Americans have so much allegiances to. They force their way into other countries and then they just demolish the fucking place. They spit all over the people that fucking live there. They spit all over the fucking way of life of people that live there, of the place. They just shit all over everything. And you want me to save these people? You want to tell me these people are good people? No, these people are not good people. Good people. Even if they fucking, let's say they got into a situation, war erupted or something, let's forego the whole notion of the borders and you're breaking the laws there, because I will tell you, if fucking some shit happened in America and it was going down and it was going down hot and heavy, I don't give a fuck about your Canadian border. I don't give a fuck about your Mexican border. I'm on my way, bitches. I get it. There's some shit happening. Problem is that most of the time these mass migration movements don't happen because shit's happening. But I'm all about the fucking people. I understand that good people they will trample on the law, the border law, to get out of danger. So let's assume that these people all trampled the border laws to get out of danger. Good people would not go to a fucking place and then devastate it. Good people would not go to a place and then all of a sudden take it over and then fucking tell everybody that's lived there for generations that they're pieces of shit and they need to leave. They wouldn't do it. But that's exactly what we're seeing. Every fucking place we're seeing a mass migration movement. These mass migration movements, I will make note, are all brown people. There's no mass migration movements of white people. There's very few mass migration movements of even black people. But for some reason, the brown people, they got this shit. They just need to not be wherever the fuck they're at currently. They need to go fucking somewhere else, in some other town, in some other nation, some other country, and fuck that up. That's what it appears to be. So, and I can't help but reference all these video clips when I get in these conversations with the people that seem to think that the American person, the American citizen, should go broke because they particularly have a narrative they want to follow. We should go save Iran. Let's go broke in America to save Iran. Let's put American lives at risk to put boots on the ground in Iran to save the fucking Iranians. No. Let's do it for Israel. No. Let's do it for China. No. Russia, no. Ukraine, no. Canada, no. Mexico, no. How about no for everybody? How about no American boots in any other fucking country to solve any other fucking problem that we aren't directly involved in as a fucking, as either a prospering fucking member of this equation or somebody that's losing, because of whatever's happening. No more saving. How about we drop the savior complex? America is fucking, we walk around every day with this gigantic savior complex. We got to save the fucking world. We got to save the fucking world while our own people are fucking dying. So to everybody out there that has these dual allegiances, the people that are willing to go on the internet every single day and fucking spit and espouse pro-America rhetoric from fucking top to bottom until it comes to a country that you think you hail from, or you've been told you hail from, or for some reason, whatever, you have an allegiance to you people, you're the fucking problem. You're the reason America, maybe not the only reason, definitely not the only reason, but you're one of the biggest. You're the fucking reason this fucking country that you keep saying you want to be made great is never going to be made great. Because you cannot drop this allegiance to a fucking land that hurts us. You cannot drop this allegiance to a people far away that hurt us. Even if it's just through immigration, they hurt us. Even if it's just the American-Mexican border, they hurt us. When you introduce tens of millions of people a year into an economy, you hurt the economy. You hurt the people that are citizens of that country. You hurt the people that have spent generations building that economy and that fucking socioeconomic structure. You hurt every single person you fucking move in with. But so many people are like, fuck it. I'm Mexican and my family wants to be here, so fuck America. Until they're all here and supporting your family, it's fuck America. Once they're all here and they're supporting your family, then it's all, fucking pro-America again. How's this shit ever going to change? How's this shit ever going to change when we've got so many foreign-born fucking politicians running our show? We've got so many dual citizenship fucking people in our government running our show. We've got all of the fucking population of America with some sort of allegiance to some place abroad. How is this shit going to get better? Until it's America only. I will forego America first. I don't think America should be first. I think it should be America only. Okay? Until we have our shit figured out here, until we have our problems here figured out, all of them, every last one of them, close the fucking book. Why do we have hundreds of thousands of homeless people in this country? Now, that's a whole different show because fuck homeless people. I've been homeless 3 times, worked myself out of it every single time. It's possible. You have to want it, and these people don't. But we'll go to the veterans. Because normal homeless people, I get it. Some people are made homeless because the government sucks and taxes them out of prosperity and all this other shit, blah, 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 blah. But the veterans, most of the homeless veterans are homeless because they're fucked up. They're homeless because they're tweaked in the brain from what we sent them to do, or we sent them to see. We sent them to experience. We sent them to feel. We sent them to smell and taste and touch. They're fucked up from it. So we've got hundreds of thousands of homeless veterans in this country right now, and we can't, for some reason, we can't figure out a way to get them houses. We can figure out a way to get millions upon millions of illegal immigrants from Mexico, El Salvador, and Honduras, and fucking China, and Canada, and everywhere else. We can figure out how to get them housing, but we can't figure out how to get hundreds of thousands of fucking homeless veterans housing that are homeless because we fucked them up. Until that fucking problem is fixed, close the fucking book. Until every single last one of us, our fucked up veterans, have a home, have a fucking pillow to lay their fucking head on, and a place to feel safe. Close the fucking book. We shouldn't be donating any fucking money to any fucking where for any fucking programs of any fucking sort. That's the way it is. But again, we can't draw the line there because there's so many fucking people that they want to fucking go help Iran, or they want to go help Mexico. They want to go help Honduras. They want to go help fucking Canada. They want to go help fucking Greenland. They want to go help Ireland. They want to go help Germany. They want to go help the entire EU, the entire UK, the entire Middle East, the entire fucking East Asia. Like, it's not going to get any better. Guys, if you believe that this country can be great, the very first step you need to take in making it so is to drop your fucking allegiance to everywhere else except America. That being said, guys, if you want to help me get these messages out, again, let me call upon you to visit me on Instagram, Savagely Loud page. That is where I'm most active. If you visit me on Savagely Loud on Instagram, you will find a link on that page to Savagely Loud podcast page where you can like the page for this show. It's also going to inevitably be my backup page when they shut me down. You can also find a link tree on Instagram, on my Instagram page, Savagely Loud, with all of my links to all of my places, all of my platforms. You can also follow me on Facebook, TikTok, X, and Rumble under Savagely Loud. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please do subscribe to my YouTube channel and turn on your notifications at Savagely Loud Podcasts on that one. And again, last but not least, you can email me in with any thoughts or concerns or comments you have to savagelyloud@gmail.com. Now that we've gotten through all that, it's that time of the show where every show like we just did, we get down into the nitty gritty, we get down into the weeds, we get down into all the places that make us feel really icky and really gross and really all this and that and the other thing. So I like to end every show with a little segment called Hopelessly Human, and it starts a little bit like:
People can be really rough. They can be quite tough. They can get in the way, but at the end of the day, some aren't only stupid, some are hopelessly human.
All right, people, guys, for our Hopelessly Human segment today, just to remind you that there are still people out there that absolutely do give a fuck about other people and nothing but other people. Today's story comes to us from Fukushima, Japan, because it's amazing on a level that you just don't see. You see a lot of people doing a lot of great shit one-on-one, but here from Fukushima, this story I've got for you today involved hundreds of people sacrificing their own lives for the future of every single young person in that country. So it's a very short one. It said, starts out with: sometimes the acts of kindness that change the world are ones that demand the ultimate sacrifice from us. In 2011, a group of more than 200 elderly Japanese volunteered to help take care of the nuclear crisis at the ruined Fukushima nuclear power plant. The Skilled Veteran Corps, as they named themselves, was comprised of retired engineers and professionals over the age of 60. They believed that they should be the ones to face the dangers of radiation, not the young, who might have their years cut short by the invisible, deadly fallout. One worker said, "I'm 72 years old, and on average, I probably have about 13 to 15 years left to live. Even if I were exposed to radiation, cancer would take 20 to 30 years or longer to develop. Therefore, us older ones have less of a chance of getting cancer. To step forward as these volunteers did in order to protect the lives of the young is one of the most touching acts of kindness a human being can make. Their example of kindness changed the world by setting the bar for self-sacrifice. Few in any country would be willing to lay aside their lives for the next generation, but these volunteers showed a willingness that leaves the world a legacy of kindness." I really like that. That's 200 men being fucking real men. 200 adults being real adults. 200 people all at one time diving into the fucking depths of despair knowingly, strictly because it would save the future of their own fucking young people. That is hopelessly human, And that's the end of the show. I'm out.